SiGGz, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, g'day, SiGGz here. SiGGz Gaming is my channel, but I don't just do gaming stuff. I've got some parody songs in the work. I've got one up already and two written, just waiting to be recorded. And yeah, just some skit stuff as well. I like to spread it out.
I like that. And if I can just say, to make this incredibly awkward right from the get-go, is you have a very great YouTuber voice. You know what I'm saying? Great YouTuber
Thank you
voice.
very much.
It's like either that radio, podcast, or YouTuber voice, and I appreciate it because I'd like to think that I kind of have that voice too, is what I lie to myself and say. So it's always nice to have game respect game.
Quit talking bad about yourself. I'm
I
not
think that
putting up with
I
this
really
today.
feel like I was sucking my own dick in that comment. But anyways,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, no, a little bit. I like to do that now and
But
again.
I agree.
I am the
It's yeah,
cockiest,
it's
least
smooth.
cocky person you will ever meet. Today's topic of discussion is YouTubers, basically. Not like those you see, but us personally in this room. We want to go over just the stories of like what got us started, like from humble beginnings, why we pursue this, some of the trials and tribulations we've had to overcome to chase this dream that we're all trying to live, and maybe even what inspired us or who inspired us to kind of chase down this road. So I would like to open the floor up to SiGGz first, due to time constraints, and kind of let him run wild with this, and we will just kind of annoy and commentate on it while he, just has the floor right now.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Brilliant intro. Alright, so I guess go right back to the beginning, I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I was the class clown, and I told myself I'd be a stand-up comedian when I got older. And I did do 2 years of stand-up comedy when I was 18, 19, which I guess is 9 years ago now, back in Perth, Australia.
Oh, wow.
Wait, hold on.
Ah.
You're not like 18 years old?
No, of course. Can't you tell he's only a year younger than I? Can't you tell from his dreams? He's basically the same person as I am. We were both class clowns. We both aspired to be stand-up comedians, and we're both YouTubers. Of course he has to be the well-aged, very young and handsome age of around 20, 27, 28, 29, like me.
No, it's just like before hearing his story, just hearing his voice, I thought he was much younger.
Oh, is that a compliment or
Oh,
an insult?
That's a
I'm going
compliment.
to take it as a compliment.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm going to take it
Alright.
in the best way.
Amber, you really need to stop interrupting SiGGz. He's got the floor.
Yeah, it's 27 turning on 28, so yeah, right on the nail. Um, so yeah, but the stand-up comedy didn't work out too well. My first show was the best, and then I won $100 at a later date. But Perth audiences were weird, and the scene was real clicky, and I wasn't very good at networking, and I think that's what really let me down on that front. So I kind of stopped doing that. I lost my inspiration. Got into YouTube. Maybe I searched this up because I have another YouTube channel that I lost the accounts for, the login information.
I got you. I got you.
November of 2016 was the video I first uploaded for that, and I had that channel going for a year and a half.
Nice. Did you have a bit more success on there than what you had now? Like not saying that your channel now, but I think as someone who's been on YouTube a little bit longer, like myself, it seemed a lot easier way back in the day, and even going back a few years, to kind of build that audience and have those views coming in than it is today. Because I feel like today is YouTube's just a very oversaturated market, especially with like streamers really like going gung ho on this platform.
That's what people have been telling me, but it's not what I've experienced because I'm taking it a lot more seriously this time and being a bit more experienced and mature about it.
Right.
I'm doing a better job. Like networking has been the thing for me.
Right.
Connecting with other YouTubers, sending messages, trying to do some collabs, jumping into that YouTuber collaborations Discord that we have.
Right.
My old channel, which was going for a year and a half, had 11 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm already at
Successful.
41 today.
There you go.
And this one I'm doing now has been going for just like 3 months.
Right.
I think yeah, we're on 3 months now.
And honestly, that's a healthy grow on here. I think if I can bring this up too, is I think that one of the things that I wasn't prepared for when I started taking this seriously too, because I have the same story. I have several channels that if you Google around you will find, but I won't tell you because I'd rather jump off a bridge than have people watch this stuff. But I really, I never took this seriously enough. And then when I finally started to buckle down, I realized that even if you constantly push content out there every day, and even if you are a phenomenal entertainer that doesn't really matter much anymore because the platform has way too many people on it. It has also become a very healthy mix of A, being a great entertainer, B, perfecting your craft, like getting more comfortable in your skin, in your situation, creating the content you're creating. But then the second half of the spectrum now is that you have to advertise yourself like absolute crazy. Like you got to put yourself on Instagram, Twitter. I mean, some people are even going on TikTok. I refuse to do that. I'd rather just destroy my YouTube channel than be a TikToker. But I'm saying a lot of people do that stuff. And then not only that, but it's creating these catchy, eye-popping thumbnails. And it's literally become like when you start a YouTube channel, you have to become your own like business adventure. You're like, I got to craft this. I got to do this. Editing's got to kind of fit in these ramifications. It's really become how you package it as much as it's become a part of how good you are as an entertainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Branding and marketing. It's all about that. I got a message earlier today from a dude. He's got 3 videos on his channel. Each of them are under a minute, and he's got hundreds of views and 90 subscribers. I'm just like, how have you done this? You just started a week ago.
I know.
It's 3 videos.
It's insane, isn't it? And like, I'm glad you brought that up because I would love to talk to somebody about the frustrations of that being a YouTuber, because I feel like we all want art and creativity on here to thrive. We all want the next guy down the road to succeed just as we have, and us to find that equal success. But it is incredibly frustrating. Like, this is my personal over a year and 3 months of straight YouTube, of being consistent and not really missing many days, just taking a day off here or there, but treating this like a full-time job. And I feel great success in my numbers and in my community. But then I'll go on YouTube and I'll find, like, just off the top of my head, this odd YouTuber from Bangladesh where you turn his video on and his microphone's like... He's got some weird song blasting in the background. And this kid has like 10,000 subs. And his views are blowing up, and I'm like, what am I missing? Like, is that a formula now? Do we like our ears to bleed when we watch videos? Do we want sensory overload when we're watching stuff now? Because you never know with children today. Some people, like, some kids just are like, yeah, I want my ears to bleed today. In fact, I'm gonna find the most eardrum destroying channel I can today, and I'm gonna give them a sub.
It's anti-ASMR. AASMR.
Exactly. I think that's the new thing, is anti-ASMR. I completely agree. And it's just very frustrating because immediately your brain goes to, well, that's not art. That's not creating. Like, the fact is, people don't understand that we put hours into getting the content, hours into editing the content, hours into editing the audio and the video, and throwing like lefts and rights in these videos to keep the viewer's attention. Just how much time we put into just one video is so incredibly time consuming, especially for us adults who also have full-time jobs and girlfriends or wives and children and pets and all these unearthly responsibilities. And you're telling me that this 7-year-old from Bangladesh who just doesn't happen to know shit about audio control, likes his house blasting at full volume all the time, just literally hits record on his cell phone. It's all crooked. You can barely see the screen, but gets 3 really cool snipes on a game everyone likes, and it is vastly more successful than us. There is a huge level of frustration with that.
Yeah. You've got me trumped with the job thing, though. I've been unemployed for like 3 years now.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing that I make it by.
Dude, I kind of vibe with that. Is that what caused you to really get back into YouTube? Was the almost kind of like...
It was actually a lot of that, but it was really my girlfriend support. I was talking to her about it and how much I really admired that Call Me Kevin. I'm always talking about Call Me Kevin. Absolutely in love with him.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, you know, you wanted to entertain, you've wanted to be a YouTuber, you love gaming. Why don't you do what he does? I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I will. So I got back into it. But yeah, we're big into the moneyless living. I was inspired by her when we got together. She has a whole blog post about how to live moneyless.
Mm-hmm.
We go dumpster diving each night to kind of feed ourselves, and we stay in her parents' house. But she also like spent 3 years buckling down as a psychologist and has saved up to buy a farm in Norway. So we're migrating there. when the coronavirus blows over. That was just
Right.
awful time.
Living the high
for us.
life.
Yeah. No, and like and that's awesome. And it's so weird because I was just talking to him earlier and he's just like, "Oh, I don't really have much of a story." Dude, you guys have no idea. This is something that not a lot of YouTubers talk about and not a lot of people accept the fact of, is that though, yes, if you want to be a streamer and only a streamer, to stream on YouTube is not an expensive endeavor. It can be. But if you want to be a YouTube creator, the simplest of setups cost money. And not only that, but you constantly chase a higher quality as you grow. You want a better microphone because you're more confident in your voice now and you don't want people hearing the whole time. You have to invest in better equipment just in general so you have a more comfortable, better workplace to create content. And it's an expensive endeavor. And
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from. Like, we're not equatable to the point of dumpster diving, but when the whole Corona thing hit, we've literally just been, I've been selling every single thing I have in this house that does not immediately relate to my YouTube channel, just to get us food on the table because we have been so literally financially starved. It's insane. We've eaten through our savings. We've eaten through everything. We also have a landlord who just continually is like, you need to pay rent. He's charging us late fees and not understanding of the entire Corona thing going on right now. And that's the only reason we're not working. And it's such a
that's
frustration. Heavy. Yeah. And it's like, and I don't know about you, but you seem like the kind of guy that really doesn't put an incredible lot of emotional value on items. I'm kind of the same way. I don't know if that is what relates to you.
No, not really. Yeah, it was hard leaving my good PC back home, but if it's not to do with gaming, I don't really care that much about it.
Right, and I'm very much the same way. And even though YouTube has been my big platform and it has been what I love doing, it's become like a livelihood for me. It's very incredibly hard for me to sit here and look at this $1,300 gaming PC that I built by hand with the 2 monitors I saved up, with the expensive mic I got, the keyboard mouse setup, and to see us sitting here and dwindling down on food in the cupboard, and it kills me inside to not just be like, I should probably not be selfish and keep chasing this dream and sell this shit so I can feed my family. And that is always an internal struggle, is that I pray to God whatever we have will stretch us long enough till we're okay again, so that way I can still have this dream, still be a part of this community, and not have to give it up because real life comes knocking at the door really quick sometimes.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff. I mean, I would definitely recommend trying the dumpster diving out, man. Rob Greenfield, he's on Facebook and such, has stated that anyone who gets arrested in America, he'll bail them out. You just message him because it's not illegal. And it's never happened. No one's had to take him up on it. And we
Right.
find such good stuff in there, like cartons of eggs. You just drop them in water, and if they float, they're bad. If they sink, they're still good.
Wow.
Food that's like good for months to go, but like one of the packages dropped in the corner, and they can't sell it if one of them's cracked, so they just put it in the bin. We eat like kings. It's honestly insane.
No, and
And
like,
we have the.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's fine. I was just bragging on about how good it is.
No. And like, it's a weird opposite of this, but I don't know if you guys know this, but I've worked a lot of retail jobs in my day too. And it's going on with this dumpster diving thing is a lot of people look down, they're like, oh, it's in a dumpster. Who cares? Like, it really, do you guys understand how many people touch your shit before you get it home anyways? Like, it's literally no more disgusting. It's just the thought in your head. You're like, oh, it's in the dumpster. It's gross now. No, it's not. It's really, really not. Like, food expires, obviously, and shit like that can go awry, but there's ways to test it, ways to check it, ways to make sure it's okay. We literally... I worked at Walmart and we worked in the deli. We would literally throw away such good produce. Like it was like, oh, some customer dropped it and it had a little bruise on the side, but now it touched the floor and it's a little too bruised. They're like, throw it in the bucket. So then it goes in a bucket, and then it goes in, and we throw in all the shit all the day. Oh, we have some cold stuff from the bar. It goes bad in 2 days. Let's throw it today. Fully packaged, hermetically sealed. Let's take all this stuff. And then there's this giant dumpster out back of just food that's still good for like a few days. And I'm like, why are we throwing this out? And don't get me wrong, Walmart also has this cool thing. I'm not plugging Walmart. Go fuck yourself, Walmart. I hate you. They also have this thing where they're like, oh, we're going to give it to Feeding America, which is really cool. But they also have so much other shit. Like, the basket of Feeding America is big enough to fit a shoe in. The basket of shit we toss out every single day is enough to fit every kid from Feeding America in. Do you get the difference? Like, it's just, they're literally not using the resources they have to help people.
Yeah, it's stuff that they say that they're not allowed to give away because of legal reasons.
Right.
But yeah, it's so easy for them to just say, like, local people come down, we'll leave our dumpsters unlocked. Sorry, I cut you off there, Linked Fox.
Oh, no, it's good. I was just going to say, I also worked at Walmart. I worked in the dairy section.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
That's where I seduced her.
And, it was just, I hated working in the dairy section because, like, if we got a thing of Trix yogurt and somebody, like, busted the top of, like, one of the little containers, we would have to dump out all of the containers.
Right, which was an accident, you know what I mean? Like, so what? My hands were a little shaky. I was excited for Trix yogurt. It slipped out of my hand. You guys make such a big deal about it.
And it was so awful because it wouldn't even be like we would take it and just toss it. They would make us open up each individual packet and dump all of it into a random bucket. And then that bucket would just sit there for 48 hours until it was full, and then it would be rinsed out.
Yeah.
All that food would go to waste just to, I guess that was, I'm not going to name names, but I worked at a different Walmart from Austin, and I think that was their, like, way to keep dumpster divers out.
Right, like they lock their dumpsters every night too. I don't know if you know that, but like they literally discourage people coming and taking it out. And if you guys want to know the reason behind that is because they actually weigh everything. So they weigh the food when they put it in like buckets and stuff like that, and then they weigh all this amount and then they keep it in books. So then when that's all done, that weight plus the weight of the dumpster, when the dumpster is picked up, it's weighed. So that way when they go and dump the compost and everything like that, everything's according to books and everything is charged accordingly. So basically the reason they don't want dumpster diving is because they'll keep filling up this dumpster, which I don't understand is saving them money. But literally it's just not adding up on their books. So it's showing that they're throwing away more than is being weighed out for the dumpster load, and then they'll think that they're stealing food from Walmart. So instead of thinking, oh, people are probably dumpster diving, their first thought's going to be like, oh, yeah, I bet you guys all wanted to eat bad Trix yogurt. That's what I think. I think all the managers are sitting at the bucket in the cooler just with a spoon being like, hey, you know, free yogurt. It only touched some dude's coronavirus-ridden shoe. Whatever. Like, I don't know. It's so weird, the chase for money nowadays.
Yeah. What really sold me on it is like how bad it is for the environment that produce on those landfills. Like you think it would just decompose like anything else, but I watched this John Oliver special all about how the food, when it's compacted like that on these giant landfills, doesn't even decompose properly. It becomes a toxic sludge.
Yes, it's the concept. I can't remember what it was called, but basically. It's not that the food itself isn't decomposable. It's the fact that they have to pile up like that, and it becomes such a vast pile that the sunlight hits it, and naturally, like I can't remember what it's called, but I don't want to sound like an idiot here, but basically it would like oxidize, and it would kind of like melt down, and then it would kind of melt into the soil and mix slowly. But since it's become such a big pile, it literally is like flooding on the grass. When it rains too much, your yard will flood. That's basically what's going on there. But instead of it being water that can slowly seep down there, it's become this just disgusting black toxic goo that the earth is like, get the fuck out of me or I'm going to throw up. So it's just sitting there adding more to the pile.
Oh,
and it's
delicious.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, if they tell me where, I would grab a spoon and I would go now. Ew. You know what I'm saying? I would love a spoonful of just a little bit of melted everything. You know what I mean? Like, this tastes like everything my body doesn't want right now.
Yeah, brilliant. So I think I've kind of told my story.
No, that's awesome though. Like I really appreciate that. Like so dumpster diving to get by, and honestly, that is such a phenomenal topic. I would love if you would join us again and we could actually go way more into that stuff, because that's interesting, and I think that actually would probably appeal to a lot of people out there that I'm not saying are financially struggling, but I wouldn't technically expect like the Queen of England to hear this and be like, oh, I can save a pretty copy. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But obviously there are people out there who do struggle, and we have a form of that ourselves here in America. We don't necessarily do that with food because we do have that like overall stigma of that's disgusting. If I see you digging in a dumpster, go fuck yourself. If I want to eat cereal that was closed in a bag, in a box, in a dumpster, of Fruity fucking Pebbles, and you want to be a judgy bitch, sorry, there's a lot of anger in this. It's not a personal story, just something off the top of my head. You go fuck yourself. But instead of doing that with food, they do it with items. Like, I've done this myself. I'll find like a broken table or a thrown out shitty couch or even a destroyed like mattress, and I'll grab it out of a dumpster, I'll bring it home, and I'll like professionally clean it, restore the wood, and fix it up, and then turn around and sell it. And I used to do that when I lived in the city. And in one summer, I literally made $3,600 over the course of that summer from just grabbing shit people were throwing out, fixing them up, turning around, and selling it.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. A lot of people throw away stuff they consider trash that a lot of us would consider something nice.
Oh man, you'd love Norway actually if you thought about getting into that. I was blown away. The economy was so good there. I don't know how it's doing at the moment with the coronavirus. Apparently it's plummeting. But an example, people would go out and they'd ride their bikes to the bar.
Yeah.
And then they'd get drunk. And they'd be too drunk to ride their bikes home, so they'd take a taxi home. But because it's so easy for them to buy a new bike, they wouldn't ever go back for their old bikes. There were just abandoned bikes everywhere, and really good ones.
Yeah.
They have a thing called Prickboard. And they just give away stuff all the time. Pianos, trailers, rowboats, keyboards,
That's
anything.
awesome.
Yeah, we're replacing it. You have our old skis.
Right. No, and I don't know why. I know this isn't right, and I do apologize if there's anyone from Norway who ends up watching this. I do apologize if I offend you. But hearing that story now, I think it is the most adorable shit that I now envision a cop chasing someone home after a bar on their bicycle. Excuse me, sir, are you drunk? You'll never catch me, copper. And then they just bump into a pole. And the cop's also on a bicycle, too, because that's how the chase has to happen. So he arrests the man. He's like, where am I supposed to sit? All right, get in the basket. You know what I mean? Just something adorable like that, or he's going to have to ride on the handlebars, which makes me happy to think about. So, Norway, if you're like that, consider a visit for me sometime in my near future. But I think that was a phenomenal run-through of SiGGz's story. Thank you very much. I know you're probably getting a little late on your end. I do appreciate you jumping in.
10 to midnight, but thank you very much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming in and telling your story, and I hope that you actually join us again for this, because I would love to pick your brain on some of that other stuff you were hinting on. So,
absolutely. I'd love to. I can't wait. I'll see you guys later. Good night.
Thank you. In my opinion, like this is a phenomenal dream to chase. Like, I could not think of a more, I don't know, fulfilling and passionate and just generally all around full dream to chase. So it is very fun chasing this dream, and to do that as a single man, I know is very difficult, or even a single teenager, or just in general alone. It's a lot of lonely, empty nights, and I know that can be incredibly frustrating. But to have a partner who like supports this, saying like, "Oh, I know you're going to be giving away years of your life for very little monetary gain, and that's going to be a lot of lonely nights for me waiting for you while you're editing videos and streaming," and to have a partner who's like, you know what, it's okay, you know, like it'll pay off, and I want you to be happy. That's a world of its own to have that kind of thing in your life, and it's just really cool to hear that there are a lot of people out there who have partners who support them. But all right, so I would like to get into, well, we have Tito and we have Bouncy, so I will let you guys decide who would like to take the mic and let us know what your story is.
Tito can go first since he was here before me.
All right. I mean,
that's my logic.
Barely.
He's like,
I feel like you should go because you're older.
We have two
How do you know
incredibly
this?
the polite Canadian and the polite UK person.
Because I know you weren't fucking 14.
I could be. You don't know this. Now you're assuming a book by its cover.
Exactly. Those fucking sumptuous Canadians, I'm telling you, man. They're just the worst.
All right, so Bouncy, the floor's yours.
All right, right, guys. How about I flip a coin? Heads or tails, Tito?
Heads.
It's heads. You go first.
She didn't flip a coin. She's lying to you, Tito.
Oh, you. I threw my phone.
He's like,
in rage.
Why do you have to give me away?
that was way too quick. You can, baby. If you guys ever want to know if Amber flicks a coin, you'll hear, okay, I'm gonna flip a coin. Bing, 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 bing. It's gonna flick off of fucking everything. Hand-eye coordination is not this woman's strong suit.
And yet I still tried to game.
Yes. But anyways, guys, so what I'll do is just kind of list off the people that we have in here right now. We have Bouncy, who's a YouTuber. Bouncy, why don't you go ahead and plug your channel on here, please?
Hi, I'm Bouncy. That's literally my channel.
Hi, Bouncy. Sorry, I wanted like an AA meeting. We also have Amber, which is known as Linked Fox through the Discord, and her YouTube channel is IAmBlaaah. All these guys' channels will be in the description. And anyways, I like skipping over Amber just to piss her off. So Amber, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your channel?
Nah.
Okay, all right. Fuck Amber. All right, Tito, why don't you go ahead and tell us what your channel's all about?
Saving the best for last. I like it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Damn, that's a long channel name.
Before Tito starts, though, I would like to challenge any of our viewers out there. Go on YouTube and type in Tito. And if you can find his channel in under an hour and a half, I'll give you $1.
Yeah, just about bring that up. My channel's Tito. It's no good looking it up. There are like a bunch. Apparently, it's a very common name in like Mexico. So yeah, just use the link in the description if you want to go to my channel.
True. So maybe if you Google it in Mexico, your odds would be better.
I lucked out with SiGGz. My brother assigned it to me when I was a preteen before YouTube was ever on my mind, and it's so original. Like, I Google it and my YouTube channel comes up and it's like fantastic.
No, that's awesome. And sometimes the simplest things become the most original. Like, if you look at ArossGames, literally first initial of my first name, last name, with games on there. And the whole, like, Aross, that was my computer login. I had to use Ross. It was first letter of your first name, last name, and the year you were born. So my login for everything was Aross 1991. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come to YouTube. I'm going to be a creator. I'm going to be so creative. I'm going to think of so much big brain shit. What should my channel be? ArossGames, I think. Just the most creative foot forward you could possibly imagine. But all right, I think it's fair. I think the
imaginary coin
the imaginary coin toss stands. I'm gonna go by that.
All right. Yeah. So, should I go back to the very, very beginning?
I think you should start where you feel like was your first inspirational like move towards YouTube, when it was like even if it wasn't like that was the time you decided you were gonna get serious about it, but the time where you're like, you know what, I want to be a YouTuber, like that real moment.
All right, hang on. Can I look up the video that made me want to do it? It's very old.
Yeah, go ahead. Just Tito typing back there.
Yeah.
The day I decided I want to be a YouTuber, let me look it up on
Yeah, we're
Google.
editing out all of Tito's story.
He's like, well, he's just like Googling another YouTuber story. Well, I started in Sweden, and I decided PewDiePie should be my name.
I thought he was gonna go the roomy route.
Okay, this is where it all started. 7 years ago, okay?
When
So,
I was
like...
a seaman, I decided as soon as I came out the pussy, YouTuber was my first word.
Wait, would it be the other way around when you go in the pussy?
Right,
As a seaman?
exactly. His dad's like, I'm gonna fuck his mother and make a YouTuber.
So this is the stuff that's gonna get cut out.
No, that's gonna be the first clip before the podcast starts.
Okay, so... Right, so my brother actually introduced me to YouTube. He has fucking autism or whatever, and that's how he found it. So he showed me this YouTube series of Minecraft Super Mario Galaxy because he was really into Mario.
Right.
And I liked it. The guys were pretty funny, right?
Right.
There we go. So I was about 8 years old, and at that moment I was like, I want to do this. This was back when you couldn't fucking make money on YouTube. I just wanted to do it.
Right.
So fast forward 3-4 years, and a little bit of an echo. Let me turn you down. Yeah, fast forward 3-4 years. I'm in grade 5 or 6 is when I start making my first YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And up until my first 50 subscribers, I uploaded daily. All right, so I played on Xbox 360.
Okay.
And I had my iPad. First generation iPad.
Nice.
I set that shit up on a makeshift tripod made of like Lego containers and shit.
Nice.
I record my screen, and I just played. And yeah, I had a friend doing it with me as well. We didn't know each other in real life. It was like online. That's when I got my first 50 subscribers. And I stopped doing that for a few years until just this December. That's when I was like, okay, I'm just gonna upload weekly. I started doing that, realized that, I'd like make videos with people and all that, and then I'd sort of lose contact with them because like a lot of them were from Europe and all that.
I got you.
So after Christmas break, we stopped talking, and then yeah, now I'm here. I guess.
Nice. So I do have a question for that. So when you were setting up your iPad on those Lego containers, tell us
Yeah.
some of those backstories I know that happened. Like, did you have a pet walk by and bump them right midst record, or being I don't know if you have any siblings, but being a teenager, have parents or family walk into the room and interrupt your videos?
Not that I remember. No, I never really had a lot of pets.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
And my brother, he that's when he was controllable. He was like, in his room watching YouTube and whatever.
Right. So he was more controllable.
Control.
We had a little,
Oh, dude.
we had a little
Now
brainwashing
he's-
bucket on his head. We had him set to behave, and then he grew and learned how to take it off.
Yeah,
No, I got you.
he definitely learned how to take it off. And yeah,
No, I like
I forgot what I
that.
was saying. I don't know. I can remember what I talked about.
No, that's fine. Can I ask you what inspired you? Did you see another YouTuber do those kind of episode style episodes that I which is honestly what caught my eye about you when I first started watching your stuff, was I realized that you had that kind of knack for humor, being a 16-year-old but still having a Friends TV series reference, and not only getting the concept of the introductory song but the introduction of the characters on there. You seem to have this eye to catch the most comedical moments and to advertise those so naturally, but to front gate them too, to where the point where, like, when you watch the video, it would slowly decrease in like the comedical content, but still hold that very nice comic tone throughout everything. So do you like have a YouTuber that looked up to that, or was it just inspiration from TV shows, or just kind of a natural eye for comedy that you like?
I never watched TV really.
Yeah.
Like, it was all YouTube.
Yeah.
That one day I saw that GingeCast video.
Yeah. So you took a lot of inspiration from other creators.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
No, that's good. I think that really is the probably best foot forward on this platform, is to take inspiration from other people who do it successfully on here. You have people like me who have this giant like barrage of just media content that span from old cartoons, old dumb commercials from the 90s, and this general kind of humor that never outgrew the mid to late 90s, because that's what I was most influenced to. That was like the biggest like hold of my personality. So you've seen some of those skits where you're like, oh my god, that is like super early Smosh video comedy right there. Oh my god, that is like a shitty 90s Capri Sun commercial, because that's what molded me. And but that's working in favor for you, that you were molded by the platform that you like to create on.
Yeah, it's just about bringing that up. I think that being born in like the early 2000s, you definitely have an advantage if you grew up watching YouTube and you sort of catch on to it right away.
Yeah, no, and I completely understand that. It must be incredibly much more natural feeling to really have been born in the explosion of the platform than to have so much space before that. Like, I have most of my childhood memories were that of never seeing a computer or using a computer. I remember the birth of Google. I remember the birth of AOL. I remember the birth of Yahoo Messenger. I remember the birth of all of these nowadays incredibly obscure events that led up to what this was. And it's insane. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but do you guys remember what YouTube's original platform was? What YouTube was before it was this video, this place that it's become for content?
I know it, but I can't get it out of my head.
I remember the old logo.
Yeah, so you guys probably remember the original logo, but I don't know if you guys know this. YouTube was created as a dating website.
Oh, was?
Really?
Yes, it was created as a dating website. It didn't work very well, so they made this weird transition into this is a dating website, but it's also kind of got this MySpacey vibe, but it's going to be where people can post videos. And the reason that it grew into the platform that it is today was because of Smosh. Because Smosh uploaded videos on there, and they got so many views, and they got so much feedback immediately in the dawn of the age where it was crazy that this would even happen, because not only was YouTube not a big platform at the time, those Smosh videos helped YouTube become recognized. They literally were like, oh my God, you have to check out this video I saw. Oh, what did you see it on? Oh, I saw it on YouTube. Let me send you the link. So it's weird how content creators actually made YouTube, and now YouTube has turned into this ginormous platform where content creators flock by the thousand. But now YouTube has taken the standpoint of, oh, no, we appreciate you guys making all of our money, but we're going to keep adding all these stringent hoops you have to jump through to be a content creator on our platform. But I always thought that was insane that it started off as a dating site and not actually this thing that it is now. And it's so weird to see all those steps up to there, whereas from your guys' point of view, you're like, oh, YouTube, that place where I watch all my videos, you know? You didn't have to watch the awkward first steps of a lot of these things take form.
Yeah, I'm honestly glad that I didn't have to see through, like, the dating website or anything like that.
Right. It's definitely a trip. This has literally been a trip to watch. And then to try to find a place in it has been, I'd say, challenging as an older man. It's not like I'm like over the hill, but I am 29. And if there were ever a place for me on this platform, it would have been when YouTube first started rolling. But I didn't have the confidence. I was let's see, I started uploading on YouTube on a different channel when I was 16. 15 or 16 was my first video. So that would be
13 years ago.
That was 13 years ago. I was one of the first kids to learn about Facebook. I was one of the first kids to learn about YouTube, and I started posting stuff on both of them. MySpace I didn't really get that super into because I thought it was just where emo kids go to cry, which at the time was not inaccurate. But I started posting all these videos way back in the day when I was in high school, and then I fell off. I turned 18. I got married and had a kid, and then I tried again as an adult, and it was a very awkward, very sad path that led to this, but I'm going to save that for later because it is an entirely long-winded story, and I would love to hear your guys' stories before I drone on about my own.
All right.
So, Tito, do you feel like that wraps you up, or do you got some other deep, dark secrets about what it's like to be a YouTuber for you that you'd like to shed some light on?
I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a YouTuber right now.
But this is the thing, is that I would like to take this standpoint of. This is something I very, very much firmly believe in, and I will advocate to the day I die. Whether you have 1 or 1 million videos, if you have taken time to create content, whether it be gaming, whether it be anything in this world, if you put energy into editing, if you put energy into creating something out of literally the minimal nothing that you started with, you're a YouTuber. You're a content creator. And I would also like to take the standpoint, which will piss a lot of people off. If all you do on YouTube is stream, you're not a YouTuber. You're a streamer. So
Definitely.
I'm sorry. That is, yeah, that's my. Yeah, you're a U-teamer. Okay, you're not a YouTuber. But no, don't ever feel like you're not, because for whatever reasons you have, if you create any content, if you put stuff out there, and you love to do this stuff, you're a YouTuber.
All right. Yeah, I think that sums up me.
That sums you up.
Yeah, the backstory to Tito.
Nice, I like it. I like it. How do you feel? Where would you like to see yourself as a YouTuber in 5 years? Where would you like to be sitting comfortably? What is like a good, not end game, but mid game for you?
5 years, dude. I don't see where I'm gonna be at 6 months from now. Nonetheless, 5 years.
I like that answer, though. I like that. I think it's incredibly important to dream and to have goals, but also at the same time accept the realism of life and be like, in 6 months, I hope I still get to do this, and whatever comes is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good standpoint.
yeah, in 5 years, I'm hoping that yeah, I'll probably still be doing this.
That's good,
It'd be nice to have 10K subs by then, but
right?
I'm sure if I keep working, it'll come sooner.
Oh yeah, the harder you work,
And
and
in
then
5 years' time, 10K subs will be the new small subs amount. There'll be on
right,
channels with like hundreds of millions of subs.
and it's getting crazy out there. But also at the same time, in a world of oversaturated content, people need smaller YouTube channels to create good quality content on the level of high end creators, but with a smaller community that they can back. And that is, I promise you guys, will be a trendy thing coming up very soon because I've seen it with my channel.
I agree. I agree that, in my opinion, smaller YouTubers are better than bigger ones. Because if you're watching a smaller YouTuber, it's more likely that you're able to talk to them more.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're going to reply to your comments. They're
And-
going to.
You definitely feel part of it, and that is important, especially when you very much enjoy the content from that creator. Because
That's why I don't like watching big Twitch streamers, because you're not enjoying yourself. Nobody's reading your comments. The reason people go on Twitch is to speak to the streamer.
exactly, and that's why streaming has become so popular. I think is because it's so much easier to get an acknowledgement and a response. And that's one of my favorite things about being a smaller streamer is that I get to reply to all these people. But also at the same time, I've seen streamers with about as many subs as I have who literally will stream and not respond to their comments. And I'm like, you guys have 1,000 subs. You're playing Fortnite. Pay attention. And it's not like they're just doing it because they're gaming at the moment. They legitimately just aren't reading their comments. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you think you are, but you're not.
I feel like that being a small YouTuber will not last forever though. Like, because a lot of the reasons why people don't like to watch small YouTubers is because they don't upload regularly.
Correct.
They mostly don't have good videos up because otherwise they'd be big YouTubers.
Right. And it's also the
Like-
concept of like smaller YouTubers, they haven't found their niche yet. A lot of these small YouTubers like me, you'll have a lot of like 1 month is just oversaturated with nonstop streams or nonstop gaming content or nonstop Fortnite. The next month you'll have me doing comedy skits and you'll have me doing a bunch of toss-up stuff that I don't typically do, and it's because I'm still trying to find what really registers with me as a content creator and what I want to do for this point I'm at. Because the more we grow and the more I can financially fund a lot of this stuff, the bigger our production value will grow for the things we're able to do. But as of right now, I'm limited, but I'm still trying to find that next thing that really resonates with me that I can be like, yes, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, there's a lot that can go into it.
Yeah.
To the reason why small channels don't get anywhere. You can also there's reasons against like YouTube's algorithm and how they promote YouTube videos and how they don't promote small YouTube videos
That-
very often.
Right.
There's a lot that can go into it in that aspect.
All right. Like,
Dad?
oh, go ahead, Tito.
Yeah, I don't really like when people talk about the YouTube algorithm because a lot of it, like how they don't promote small YouTubers, because a lot of the small YouTubers don't take the time to learn the algorithm. Because, like, it's all in. If you want to get your videos promoted on the recommended, you have to make good thumbnails, people click on it. Because if your click through impression rate is lower, you won't be recommended as much because YouTube is like, okay, this guy isn't good.
Right. And I do completely agree. I mean, I don't want to sit here and ever like flash my numbers by being like, oh, I'm at 1.25. You know, I don't ever want to sit there and be like, oh, this is the amount of my success. My success does not come from my amount of subscribers. My success comes from my community and how active we are and how phenomenal of a community the people that we have in here. That is how I measure my success. But I can attribute my success to a mix of having a phenomenal personality like TheToastedGamer, Ball, my cousin, who helps make all my content fun and entertaining, very high in energy. But I can attribute most of my success to being a hound for analytics. From day one, I have been over observant on my analytics, paid attention to what worked. I did a lot of research. The reason my channel grew so quickly in the first few months is because I'd realized that at the time, Minecraft was very, very, very popular, not in America, but in other countries. So I changed my schedule and I started my streams at 10 o'clock at night and I ran them till 6 in the morning because that would be like morning to evening time in those countries that they were popular in, like Indonesia and Australia and all of those places. And because of that, I grew from 90 to 450 in a month and a half.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
When I started. So
Damn.
analytics is very important. Don't get me wrong, I killed myself doing it. If I look at Fortnite anymore, or if I look at Minecraft anymore, I get PTSD.
It's honestly really bad because now whenever we try to do like Minecraft episodes or anything like that, we'll start up the game and Austin is just immediately burnt out.
Exactly. I've literally those were attributed to 24-hour Minecraft streams. I was doing 12-hour Minecraft streams daily.
Yeah.
It was literally murder on who I was, and it was not worth the growth. Not only that, but I grew so quickly that my community was incredibly toxic from the start. And it took a lot of changes, and it took a lot of hard work to wean out that toxic community and build the healthy one we've developed now. Trust me, growing fast is like everyone's dream. Or like, oh, I can't wait to get all these subscribers. I mean, if you're just looking to be a content creator and not be close with your community, then that is a fine way for you to go. But for me, I'm always going to be trying to be on the Discord. I always want to chat with the people in my community. I always want to welcome everybody. And not only that, but I want to get to know them, and I want to know why they like this channel. I want to know how they're feeling fitting in. I want to be there more of a guidance than a creator too. And growing fast is not a healthy way for me to grow. So there are a lot of times where I step on my own toes. I get a lot of flack. People are like, oh, you've done giveaways on your channel. I'm like, yeah, I like to reward my community. It's very important to me that I give back to the people who support me. So we do giveaways like 2 or 3 times a year. And this last one I did because we've done a few before, and I was getting so frustrated with seeing people who weren't a part of the community just come in and snag up the goods and then leave. It was disheartening. So this last one, I literally put so many hoops to jump through. We were giving away a gaming PC, a low-end gaming PC. And I literally put so many hoops to jump through that it was kind of nice. It was stressful, but luckily for the first time in one of our real giveaways, one of our OGs actually won the giveaway, which was actually Ball, the Toasted Gamer. So it was really, really awesome to see that. But at the same time, like if you're chasing growth, I really stepped on my own toes. Like if I wanted growth, if I would have just thrown up there that we were giving away a gaming PC and said all you have to do to enter is just comment hi and you're entered, you would not believe we probably would have doubled or even tripled in growth. But the point wasn't to grow in numbers. The point was to reward my community and to let other people out there know that, hey, I exist as a channel. And I kind of doubled up on that by saying, hey, if you see this computer giveaway, which I got a couple thousand views, what you have to do to enter is once a week on my footage, I will give away a keyword. You have to collect all of those. We'll be doing it for 12 weeks. So that immediately got those people who just jump in right away out the door. So we don't have to deal with that toxic behavior. But not only
keyword.
Yeah, I would put a keyword in each video, and that keyword would spell out a phrase at the end of the 12 weeks. And then you would message me that phrase, and that would be your entry to the computer giveaway. So not only did that stunt my growth, but on the bright side is the people who did stay had to watch my footage. They had to watch my episodes. And because of watching that, they got to know who I was and what I stand for and the content I like to create. And those people who stayed ended up really liking the community, because instead of just seeing me as a person giving away a computer, they saw me as a face and a personality.
Yeah.
I actually just made a promise in my latest video, which I'm sure I will come to regret, but I said when I reach 200 subscribers, I'm going to give away like a $20 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, and I mean this very seriously. A lot of people get flocked for it. Don't ever, ever, ever be embarrassed to give back to your community. Don't ever. Like, if you're doing giveaways because, like, you're lying or saying, like, oh, I'm giving away this computer. You don't have a computer to give away and you're lying. That's a totally different story. But if you have a community that supports you and you want to reward them, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That goes along with A, paying back the people who support you and you chasing your dream, and B, that goes along with advertising yourself. You have to advertise yourself nowadays. If you want to be noticed by anyone, you want to be seen by anywhere, anything going on in today, you have to advertise yourself. And that means sometimes you have to let them know that you're going to reward them. That goes by sometimes making sure your thumbnails are crisp, clean, and clickable. And that means that you have to put a little extra work into your editing and your videos. That's all part of the package of being a YouTuber. It is impossible. You will never, ever, ever get noticed or ever get up there if you're just going to be this straight edge guy who's like, nope, I'm not doing giveaways. That's really shallow and shitty. I'm not going to work on these clickable thumbnails. I'm just going to put a thumbnail out there. I don't want to look at my analytics. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how good of a YouTuber you are. This is a game now, and you have to play the game if you want to succeed. And that sounds shitty, and it's an internal battle I deal with every day, but that's just the truth.
I feel like that's a good place to end that off. I feel like we went on a bit of a tangent there.
Oh yeah, I love tangents though. We do that here.
So
All right.
Bouncy.
Bouncy, you are up next. Well, I would love to hear the tale of what made you so bouncy.
Oh boy, that tale has nothing to do with my YouTube channel. That's to do with Discord, but we're not talking about Discord today. We're talking about my channel.
Yes,
Channels.
we're talking about
So
humble beginnings.
Yeah, so I've had so if we're going back to the start, I've had 3 YouTube channels that I've done. I guess you can say that I've had other channels in between, but these are the 3 main channels that I've pushed content on and tried to grow upon.
Okay.
So for my first channel, I have to go back to early 2014. That was when I first started YouTube. Back then I was, a console scrub. I had my Xbox 360.
Hey, what's wrong with the console?
Hey, at least the servers were up.
You see my
Anyway.
video? I made that video on console. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, you couldn't do that back in the day, Ball.
But yeah, no, when I started my channel, this was like when the ArossGaming and that crew were big.
Madness,
This was
yeah.
when they grew on YouTube. This
Yeah.
was their
Yeah.
big time. Their Black Ops 2, just started
GTA 5.
GTA. Yeah, this was their big time, and I was like, I can do this.
I gotcha.
I'm enjoying their videos. This is what I want to do. So I made my channel. I made like, no offense to anybody else, but I was, in my own opinion, pro player at Black Ops 2.
Gotcha. All right, I hear you.
Every game was 20, 30 kills, best player every game. Not to brag about myself, but that's where I was on Black Ops 2.
King of the castle, I hear you.
Exactly. I'll have to share a video later because I've still got one on that channel where you can see some of the kills I got.
I like it.
But yeah, so yeah, my first channel was gaming based. My second channel, believe it or not, was anime based, and my third channel was, well, this one now is gaming based. Yeah, so when I first started YouTube, I actually started recording with a phone because I did. Yep, that's about that. I used to have my phone. I used to put it on like a little stand and record my TV.
Yeah.
I never actually had a laptop or had any editing service. I used to just upload on there and then use an app to cut parts of it and then put it together. And then I would just upload it onto YouTube through the phone app that they had.
Okay.
Pretty terrible videos, I'm not gonna lie. Every single one of them is now just hidden. You can't watch any of them
Right.
because they were terrible.
I mean, at the time, they weren't bad. You know what I mean? At the time, you guys got to remember, like, at the beginning of YouTube and all those, even in the early years, a lot of those videos were, like, 360p, bad phones, 360p, terrible cameras, terrible audio, but that was just the technology available at the time. So at the time, not so terrible. Looking back today, an absolute aesthetic nightmare.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, then I got later on the YouTube channel when I moved to do a college course somewhere. I went on to actually recording with an Elgato and actually editing properly.
Gotcha.
Well, editing probably for the most part anyway. But yeah, no, that channel didn't really get anywhere, and the community grew in a sense, and I had viewers, and it started growing. Because it was a lot easier to grow back then, and it was definitely a lot easier to get like sponsorships. Like I had 2 sponsorships on that channel. I had a big at the time, like gaming glasses. They were like one of the big things back then.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody was on about getting gaming glasses because they help you game. I
Right.
never understood it. I really don't know how a pair of glasses can help you game better.
Oh, it didn't. It was the thought process. You know what I mean? Like in Space Jam, at the end where Michael's got his special drink, and everyone starts
Yeah.
drinking, and
Oh,
they feel
yeah.
the power, and it was just a bottle of water. Yeah, it's very much that.
Yeah, back in the day, you know, small YouTube channels were able to like apply for sponsorships, and it was a lot easier than nowadays.
Yeah.
So you know, I was able to have like one or two, and they would help, and you know, I got a little bit of traction through those. Made a little money as well from doing so. You know, something
Yeah.
that you wouldn't actually do nowadays.
Right.
But yeah, the channel grew to about like 700 subs before I stopped, and then yeah, it kind of got to a point where things were happening in my life where I couldn't keep doing it anymore because life kind
Yeah.
of takes over, and you can't.
Yeah.
This will go into my second channel because it's kind of the same reason why I got back into YouTube and such. But yeah, so things started happening and things weren't going well, so I kind of stopped. And I also, where I was living at the time, there was like arguments going on. Like the people I was living with who were relatives to me were like going through a divorce.
Oh, I
They were
hear
like
you.
arguing all the time, having problems, and it wasn't helping me. And they would take it out on me.
Right.
So I was still like technically a child because I was only 17,
Yeah.
turning 18 at the time. So I was still technically a child. So they still have a go at me and stuff, and it didn't help. So yeah, I took like a 6-month break from YouTube.
Okay.
And in that time, like when I was actually just after my 18th birthday, I started watching anime. Like I'd never actually watched any anime before. You know, like I'd watched like a few episodes of Pokemon Go when I was not Pokemon Go, sorry, Pokemon when I was little.
Yeah, yeah.
And like Yu-Gi-Oh on TV, but I didn't think, you know, I didn't know of anime. It wasn't any. I'd heard of it because whenever you play games on console, you'll hear people speak about it, but I'd never delved into it.
Right. I mean, and then this is a note to be said too. How old are you again?
When I dove into anime,
Yes. I mean more like what was the time frame for that? Like year wise.
this was 2015, 2014.
2014, 2015. Okay. So you guys have to understand, like, around that time, too, anime was a lot more readily available than it was in the early 2000s. But it's not like it was, like, the easy-to-obtain pop icon that it is today. So you don't have to say that you didn't really get into anime as, like, an embarrassing thing, because there wasn't a ton of it around at that time. I mean, I don't really remember anime really hitting, like, everyone's home and it becoming a topic of discussion until what, 2014, 2015, maybe even 2016.
It was just to. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Good.
I was gonna say, just because like I actually have a little bit of experience with this. It really became a big thing like 2014, 2015, like in high school. That's when like that was my senior class, and everybody, as soon as like we got out of high school, like anime was so big because you saw so many of those kids getting jobs and now buying up all that merch and all the DVDs and stuff. And that's really when I think the whole anime
in
as a
home
household thing
yes.
became such a big thing.
I completely agree.
Oh yeah, it's definitely only just grew as big as it has been over the last 5-6 years. That's for sure.
Right. I just you seemed a little like, oh man, I feel bad. I didn't get into. Oh, don't even worry about
Okay.
that.
I didn't mean on the factor of me being against it. I just meant in the fact that I hadn't actually heard about it. In the sense
No,
that I
yeah.
actually hadn't heard anything about it.
Right.
Like you hear a few bits here and there, but I'd never actually watched anime to that point.
I got you.
Unless you class watching Pokemon as like an 8-year-old.
Yeah,
just
I
watch
mean,
anything
that
with
is the
video.
most criminally loose definition of anime I think is out there. But I respect it. I understand.
But yeah, so carrying on, the reason I got into anime actually was because of PewDiePie. So this
Okay.
is when PewDiePie started, like, you know, boosting up on YouTube, you know, getting millions and millions of subscribers. This was like his 2015, you know, where he started just getting millions.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a video on, like, it was actually one of his honeymoons where he showed this anime called My Love Story, which I ended up watching on Crunchyroll, which was also a newer thing at the time. You know, Crunchyroll had just not too long ago been made, and they'd started streaming anime.
Back when it was good, when it first came out.
Well, yes. Um,
Unless Crunchyroll
Yes,
wants to sponsor us, then I love Crunchyroll. I apologize.
Yeah,
Shameless promotion.
Crunchyroll is great. You know, best
Hey,
best
sorry to
streaming
interrupt,
website.
Best
I'm
anime
gonna
streaming
switch-
website. Anyways, Bouncy, go ahead.
But yeah, so to get back to the actual topic on hand, I started like an anime channel, and at first it was more of a, again, I'd gone back to just using my phone, so I actually just had like this app where I had no interest in doing YouTube again at the time, but I was like just like, Nightcore had just got big, so I'd start like uploading Nightcore videos.
Oh man,
So on my
I
phone.
remember the time of Nightcore. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I used to like just like make these small Nightcore videos, load them to YouTube. They wouldn't get much traction, like 100 views maybe. And then I think this was also the time where people was uploading a lot of episodes of anime to YouTube because YouTube hadn't really had this thing
Yeah,
of copyright
yeah,
just yet.
yeah.
So this is where people are uploading YouTube, and I was like, why don't I just upload episodes to YouTube?
Right,
So
right.
I started uploading like it was only actually one anime that I uploaded. I uploaded like the first 4 or 5 episodes of an anime called was it Showman Sample? I think that's what it was called. It was popular at the time, like it was getting traction. I was like, oh, nobody's uploaded it to YouTube, I'll upload this to YouTube, and like the first episode gets like 250,000 views, and like I'm up 7,000 subscribers.
Right.
And then like I get like emails from YouTube saying like this video has been taken down due to this, and then out of nowhere all the episodes are then taken down, and my YouTube channel has then been like, the growth has stopped. My YouTube channel has then just been like, blocked.
Yeah,
Like,
they locked
I've
you
had 2
down.
warnings. Yeah,
That's
They haven't
actually
been terminated.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
phenomenal. I'm glad that you brought that up. We'll have to bring this up in another episode, but very few people know about account locks. That's cool I mean, I'm sorry that happened on your big growing channel. That does suck. But it is very cool because I was hoping to meet somebody who had dealt with YouTube Block before, and I was kind of hoping we could get into it because that's a very, very uncommon thing that not a lot of people deal with. But it affects a lot of YouTubers who were like on the rise during that time period.
Yeah, so yeah, for a month my channel was blocked, and then once it got unblocked, the traction had gone down, so I tried to pick it back up by making videos, of course not uploading episodes because that would get my channel terminated,
Right.
but actually uploading videos again, commentary videos on anime and stuff. And then I kind of like could try and delve into the because I still have people who are leaving comments and enjoying the videos. Like the views weren't in the thousands, but I was still getting like a nice amount of views and people leaving comments and likes. So I was trying to think of what to do next, and I was like, another thing that's big at the moment is a bridge series. So I
Right.
tried to start making an abridged series on this because that was also big at the time, and like it started growing my channel back up. And then like out of nowhere again, I get like a second copyright claim on one of the Nightcore videos, and then my channel then gets like shut down for 3 months, and
Yeah.
that's like the second stage, and it's like, oh well, I'm not bringing it back from here.
Right.
And then once that's done, I come back after 3 months, and I'm like, what do you guys want to see? I try and like get people back up again, and it's just not happening, and I'm trying to upload and get people interested, but it's just not getting anywhere. So I
Yeah.
then just like die it down, and you can't really bring it back after that point. It's hard to do.
No, I understand. YouTube does this not very publicly spoken kind of thing that if your channel gets in trouble for copyright or anything along those lines, and other small instances, what they do is they kind of put you on a meltdown for your analytics. So basically what they do is they stop you from being able to reach as far, they stop you from being able to be recommended, they stop you from doing all of these things as like a slap on the wrist kind of deal. And sometimes you have no idea how long they do that to you. And by the time you're kind of up, back and running, you're already like old news and people don't really pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah, I think one of the hard things during that time wasn't the fact that the channel got like taken down or stuff like that. It was the fact that like throughout the whole time, it was like one of the hardest times in my life because like I don't want to make it dark or anything, but like depression hit me hard, and it was hard to go outside some days and different things like that. I don't want to get too deep into it.
No, I got you.
But yeah, it was definitely a hard time. And then I stopped YouTube for a bit, and then when did I start this new channel? early 2019, I think. I started uploading on this channel. So I started streaming on Twitch early 2018. You know, I started gaining a little bit of traction on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got, you know, I'm currently on like 700 and something followers. Um, and then like one day I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make a YouTube channel again and just start uploading on there every week. And yeah, and for a lot of 2019, I've kept going back and forth of like uploading like every week, and then I'd stop for like 3 months, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna pick it up again, and I'd stop, and then now hopefully in 2020, I'm hopefully gonna carry it on and keep growing. Hopefully, anyway.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't. Everyone in this room that I've talked to and I've watched your guys' content, you guys all have phenomenal content, and I kind of hope that speaks back on me when I say this. But watching you guys, if you guys had started at the dawn of YouTube, you guys would all be big people on YouTube right now. You guys all possess the talent. You guys all have that natural humor. You guys have a very flowy editing ability, and it may seem natural to you guys, but you guys need to understand that is not as natural as you think it is to have that, just that eye for that natural transition, those clean cuts, those clean edits. You guys, I've seen a lot of your guys' videos. 99% of the time, you guys seem to be very conscious and aware of audio issues that you guys seem to tackle, and you guys know how to put all of the best footage that you guys have in an order of where it catches your eye within the first 30 seconds, which makes you want to watch the whole thing. Because that has become a huge problem on YouTube nowadays, is that nobody finishes your videos. That was never a problem back in the day. Back in the day, if you clicked on a video, you watched the whole thing because that's just what you did. But nowadays, you're like, oh, if I'm not rolling on the floor in a minute and 5 seconds, I'm clicking away. You guys have that natural ability. I don't have a doubt that everyone in this room won't be seeing dream come true numbers in just a short period of time.
Everyone just quiet. Ross, we're taking that in, I guess.
We're all a group of people that don't get complimented well. I understand that.
Oh yeah.
I would like to ask you this, Bouncy, because this kind of is my background too. Do you feel like your innate push and your innate drive for YouTube was at all the success that you share with your channel and what you do? Do you attribute that at all to like that really dark past that is what kind of sprung you into this?
No, I'd have to say no on that one. Because I would say the dark past had like a difference to YouTube. I would say YouTube I did was for like what I enjoyed and still do. So it's a bit different to that. Like the dark past is from other parts of my life and family, etc.
Right. I mean, I guess I should rephrase it a little bit. Or do you feel more like you had more of a creative aspiration on YouTube as a creator because of like the trying to get away from the dark? Do you feel like you spent a little more time looking for what's right? Did you feel like you spent a little more time being a little bit more passionate than you might have been given like the positive days because you were trying to get away from that dark?
Oh yeah, if you are feeling the way you do, and I know a lot of people out there who have, you know, very deep depression or have had such thing.
Right.
You know, you want to look for those things that make you happy throughout the day and what you enjoy, because you know nobody enjoys being down or sad 24 hours a day. So you look for those little things that make you happy, and I think playing games and recording and definitely speaking to the people who enjoyed the videos in the comments and such gave me more aspiration to do it.
No, I completely agree. I think that is a big inspiration point for some people, and I think that's why I enjoy so many YouTubers that are very slept on, is because, I mean, don't get me wrong, when you're at the top of the game or the bottom of the game, depression is depression, and no one has that perfect happy life. But there are a lot of content creators out there that you can tell are just running away from that bad day, and I find that they're so much more creative and find like they're able to shine a light on something that everyone else is doing but still stand out, and I really enjoy that. I mean, obviously not the bad days part for them. I mean, I enjoy them finding something that's very positive out of something that seems seemingly just a bad situation.
Yeah, YouTube's pretty cool.
No, I agree. Just sums it up. Yeah, YouTube's a cool place.
I love that. Just quiet for 3 beats. YouTube is cool.
No, I agree.
I like it. I might put a video up.
Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much for sharing, Bouncy. That's a fucking trail of turns on YouTube. That's insane.
Well, my story's not that interesting.
No, Tito, your story's fine. I'm just saying, like,
No,
he
no,
has.
I'm mocking him because he said.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotcha. He literally. I mean, he's the most successful one in this group. He is. He's gone like those trials and tribulations. Had that growth. Had that middle ground. He's had sponsorships. I never had a YouTube sponsorship, but I had a competitive gaming sponsorship once. But those are two
these
totally
these were
different
different
things.
days. Don't take it as too much. You could get a sponsorship with 10 subscribers.
No, but I'm saying like I mean, sure, YouTube was easier back in the day, but we all need to acknowledge the truth. YouTube has never been easy.
No.
You either have to be on trend or part of a trend or understand a trend so much and feel it and live it and put it out there. And it's never been easy. So just because you saw success in an area where you're like, oh, all I did was post up anime, you still did that. Everyone in this room had the opportunity to jump on the trend train. We've all had that opportunity. And none of us thought it was even worth doing it. And to sit there and be like, you know what, fuck it, what do I have to lose? That in itself is something that not everyone has the courage or the confidence to do. And you did that. So whether you think it was belittled success because it was easier at the time or because it was just posting up anime videos, success is success. And you should always be proud of success.